Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Lewis, and about 3 days ago, I bought my absolute dream car, which is this beautiful 718 Cayman S behind me. And for the past 3 days, I've literally put about 2,000 miles on the car because I bought it in Atlanta, Georgia, and drove it all the way to Florida, Orlando, Florida, and then drove it to Miami, Florida, and then have been driving it non-stop. So I've gotten to know this car really well, and in today's video, I wanted to tell you guys 5 reasons why you should buy a 718 Cayman S. We are on this rooftop right now. Oh my God, look, a plane is literally landing right now. I'm not sure if you guys were able to see that, but because the day is coming to an end, the sun is in my eyes, I'm gonna have to do the rest of this video with my glasses on. Hope you guys don't mind. But let's go ahead and get into the first reason why I think you should buy a 718 Cayman S. So I know I just walked you guys around the car, but honestly, the first reason why you should buy a 718 Cayman S is because of the styling of this car. Like, look at this thing. What else can you buy between $50,000 and $65,000 that looks like this? I mean, this is a mid-engine supercar. You have the frunk in the front, obviously, where you can store a bunch of stuff. I'm honestly so surprised how practical that is. I have not used the back for any luggage yet. I actually keep the plans for my job in the back, which is pretty crazy. But just that, like, how that looks, like, look at that, guys. This car is so sexy. Like, it has such a good profile. And right now, it's sitting a little high. It's got about 3 fingers there. I promise you that is definitely going to change soon. But honestly, it's just the styling. Like, you have this wing that goes up and down. Obviously, it's not the biggest wing, but guys, it is cool. And on the highway, when that thing goes up, it just looks awesome. The rear lights look amazing. I think they're super modern, really good looking. And then you got the wheels and brakes. These wheels, guys, these wheels are so nice. And I washed the car yesterday. They're super easy to clean because this is like kind of spread out. So that's a huge plus for me. I love the side intake right here, the air intake. This thing just gives the car such an awesome look, and you know, I love it. I love everything about it. If I sound so excited, guys, I'm sorry, but I just really love this car. So the next reason why you should buy a 718 Cayman S is honestly because of the drivability. So I bought this car 3 days ago in Atlanta, Georgia. I live in Florida. I drove it from Atlanta in the middle of the night, me and my best friend Matt, all the way to Orlando, Florida. The next morning, I woke up at 5 a.m., drove 3.5 hours to Miami, Florida, and honestly, the car just, it handles it so well. All right, like I had to bring a lot of stuff with me, so like luggage-wise to Miami, and the car, honestly, it fits everything because you have this front trunk, which I'll show you guys in a second. You can use it every day. Like, this could technically be an everyday car. Now, obviously, this isn't a 5 things I hate about the Porsche Cayman video, but I will say the seats are very uncomfortable, but only during a long journey. So if you're not driving this car for, you know, hours at a time, then you're gonna be absolutely fine. But if you are taking like long trips in the car, then I mean, you may want to have like a pillow for your back or something, because me and my best friend Matt drove it for about 6.5 hours home from Georgia, and we were dying. But since I've had it here in Miami and I've just been driving like 30 minutes at a time, the car is amazing, so comfortable. And you get your rear trunk as well. So you don't just have a front trunk, you have a rear trunk, which makes it extremely drivable, and like, you can really use this thing every single day. So I went ahead and stepped inside so I can tell you guys some of the inside features that I like that make this car so awesome to drive on a daily basis. I'll go ahead and show you. So you have a really nice tight steering wheel with all the multi-function controls right here. And then this is how you switch your, you know, from Sport Plus to normal. It has the PDK transmission, and in my opinion, this is what makes it so drivable. Like, PDK is the best transmission on planet Earth, guys. I am not kidding. PDK just knows exactly what to do. Like, if you put it in normal mode, this thing drives like completely comfortable. Like, you barely feel it. It's just so smooth. The moment you put it into Sport Plus, this thing becomes a completely different car. Like, you could literally daily drive this to work every day. and in normal mode, and then take it to the track on the weekends, put it in Sport or Sport Plus, and you have a straight up track weapon, because the PDK can react to two different situations. It can be completely docile, or it can be a complete monster and bang out shifts like no other on a track. You also have two cup holders in this car, which make it pretty usable. Right now I have a cup of coffee in one of them, and you can open up the other one for your passenger and it opens up right there, or you can hide one like I have it right now, and it completely stows away. I like not having, you know, the center console or anything disrupted by a cup holder, because right now I can just take this out, which is empty because I'm addicted to coffee. You open that up, you do that, and bam, you have a completely beautiful and not disturbed interior, which is absolutely amazing. So another thing that makes this car really drivable every day is the 14-way adjustable seats. So you can either set yourself up to sit kind of high, comfortable, keep, you know, the knees level with the hips, or you can put yourself in a straight up sports car position, lower the seats all the way to the bottom, kind of lift it up where you're like kind of sitting in like what I like to call is like an F1 position. I know I'm not in an F1 car, but honestly when I'm driving this thing, I feel like I'm in an F1 car. So overall guys, it's just super, like you could definitely daily drive this thing. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm just so excited that I have the car and I just want to share it with you. But the car is like, you own two cars. You have a comfortable, luxurious car that kind of gets you from A to B, and you know, in a really good way, just comfy. And then you have a car that by a flick of a switch turns into a straight up race car. Like this, it's insane how much fun this car is to drive. And it's amazing that you can have a car that you can daily drive and be comfortable in, and also rip around a track, or you know, like you're gonna do most of the time like me, you know, take the off-ramp on the highway going like 65 miles an hour, and it makes you feel like you're like the best driver on planet Earth. So the third reason why I think you should buy this car is because of the tunability, okay? And let me explain to you what I mean by tunability. This car has a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it makes 350 horsepower, okay? Now, that's a lot of power for a car that weighs just over 3,000 pounds. And honestly, when I first floored it in this car, I was mind blown. I was not expecting it to be that fast. I had previously driven the 981 Cayman and Cayman S, and those, they felt fast to me. But then I drove this and realized that honestly, those cars suck. At least when it comes to speed. Like, they're great cars. If you have a 981 Cayman S, I'm sure it's amazing and it feels great. It's not all about the speed. But if you drive a 981 Cayman S and then drive one of these right after, you're gonna be mind blown. Like, this thing is not just a little bit faster. It'll blow the doors off a 981 Cayman S. But the cool thing about this motor is that it is turbocharged, okay? So you're able to kind of extract more from the car than you were able to extract from the previous car. So one of the plans that I have for this car is to do the APR stage 1 tune, to do downpipes, to do the GTS intake manifolds. I think that's it performance wise. I may be forgetting stuff, but that means you're gonna get this car to over 400 wheel horsepower. You'll be wrecking just about anything on the road with a 400 wheel horsepower car that weighs right over 3,000 pounds. This thing is just gonna be a monster. And then they sell the Olin suspension for this car, which makes it a complete animal around a corner. And the brakes are already amazing. You don't have to upgrade those. So you're able to tune this car to a whole nother level than you were the previous car. And that's actually why I bought this car. So I ended up getting a Cayman S, and I couldn't be happier, because I truly think that after this thing is tuned, it will be faster than a stock C8 Corvette. So make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna be tuning this car very soon and doing so many mods to it. So if you wanna join that journey, hit the subscribe button. So the fourth reason why I think you should buy a 718 Cayman S is because of the price point. So let's get into some numbers, guys. These cars on AutoTrader are going from anywhere from $50,000 to about $80,000 depending on options. Now, Porsche options mean a lot. So to me, I needed to have PDK and Sport Chrono. The reason I wanted PDK is because I wanted to be able to have the fastest version of the Cayman, which would always be PDK. It can shift faster than a manual can. And then I wanted Sport Chrono because I wanted to be able to do launch control on the car so that when I take it to the drag strip, I'm able to get the absolute best times. So with that being said, for $50,000, depending on the options you want, let's just call it $60,000. Let's say you want to get one with, more options. What else can you buy for $60,000 that has this? You're talking about, it's a mid-engine sports car, okay? It looks amazing. I know looks are subjective, but goddamn, guys, you can't tell me you don't think that is sexy. That's a good-looking car. And then, what else can you get for $60,000 that's gonna move like this thing? Like, it is so nimble around the corners. It is so fast. Like, yeah, you can tell me you can go get a Mustang, but at the end of the day, I don't think the Mustang's gonna feel like this. The Mustang kind of feels like a normal car. And if that's what you're into, then that's awesome. But I was looking for more of like an exotic car feel for 60 grand. And that's what I got. Now, I actually didn't pay 60 grand for this car. I'm gonna leave that for a whole nother video explaining my buying experience of this car, which is an entire video on its own, honestly. But it was one hell of an experience. But this car, just the price point to me just makes so much sense. You could technically say, oh, you can get a Corvette C8 for $59,900. Well, honestly, good luck finding one for $59,900. So the best car, I think, for the money, 718 Cayman S. And the fifth reason why you should buy a 718 Cayman S is actually the reason why most people say you shouldn't buy a 718 Cayman S. And that is because of the exhaust sound. Now, I watched every single review on the internet about this car, and every single person said the car sounds like. And so when I went to go drive the car for the first time, I had these like expectations of, okay, this car's gonna sound like garbage and I'm gonna have to get over that. But in reality, the car does not sound like garbage. Like, all these people who say this car does not sound good, they're honestly just looking for something bad to say about the car. And like, I started thinking, these journalists really, they have to complain about something, so they chose that, obviously. But this car does not sound bad. You put this thing in sport mode and rev it, you will pop everybody. Like, sometimes, I've been driving it for 3 days. Every time I go into my parking garage, I just pop everybody. The entire garage, literally, it sounds like gunshots are going off. Maybe that's not your thing, but I think it sounds amazing. So I'm gonna give you guys some exhaust clips of the car. I'm not sure how good this camera is gonna catch it, but trust me, if you're in the market for a 718 Cayman S, go ahead and drive one. Make sure that you put it in sport mode and just rev it. It likes to rev high. And man, when that thing hits about 5,000 RPM, it's just like straight pop, pop, pop. And it's amazing, guys. I love it. All right, I think it's time to get out of here. I don't want to get kicked out. Well, I live here, so I guess I can't get kicked out, but they can probably find me for making noise. I have no idea. But just so that you guys know, my goal for this car is to actually make it faster than a 718 GT4, both in a straight line and on the track. And I'm gonna do that by, doing the APR tune, the downpipe, the Olin shocks, hopefully, or some kind of shocks. We may try out the KWs first because they're a lot cheaper, and then eventually upgrade to the Olin shocks. But if you guys want to join that journey and see everything I'm going to do to this car, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to have videos up 3 times a week. Absolutely. So if you don't want to miss those, hit the subscribe button. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.